just because this game gave me an heirloom at the start of the season doesn't mean I'll be glazing it hard.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
No way! Oh my god! Now that is out of the way, hello everybody, it is me, Azura, celebrating after having insane luck in my gacha games because I've been seemingly blessed by RNGesus himself. So, what is today's topic? Well, since the new season of Apex dropped and it's been almost a week since it has dropped, I thought I'd allow myself to write my thoughts down about this season. So far, my first impressions of it is it's not so bad. It's got its issues here and there, but in comparison to some of the other seasons, it definitely isn't that bad. And funnily enough, it's one of the more stable season releases. Then again, that's because this game is slowly hemorrhaging players, but what can you do about that, eh? But Season 26, with the introduction of Wildcard, the return of E-District, my beloved, and a season without World's Edge or King's Canyon, taking that. I'll be going over with the new modes, the changes, and all that jazz, and formulating my own opinions about it. So without further ado, let's just kick things off with the big one, and that being Wildcard. Wildcard is the new permanent mode added to the game. How long this mode will stick around, I haven't got a clue, but I suspect since it actually tracks stats, it has staying power. Wildcard is what happens when you take a Apex Trios match, crank it up to 11, and hop it up on enough stimulants to kill a small child. Even allowing the age-old request of legend stacking, and boy, that just opens a floodgate for shit that you've seen in your nightmares.
What do you mean by that?
I want to be aimed at by 3 ramparts. Would you like to be aimed at by 3 ramparts? Didn't think so. One of the nicest things about legend stacking is everyone gets to play their legends without worrying about having to contest their pick. That's just a win in my book. Everyone gets to play their legends, no one gets to complain. All in all, good time. Wildcard takes the one thing that everyone enjoys about Apex Legends and makes it the mainstay of the game. Actually fighting in Apex Legends. Allowing yourself to just pick up a gun and get fighting. You don't need to worry about looting for attachments when every gun you get is pre-kitted and ready to rock, starting off at the grey level and leveling up as you do damage, kill people, and pick up things called Evo Orbs. The game has its own rules of play, with systems in place only for Wildcard. Auto-looting is what it says. Everything that you need can be picked up without needing to use the loot key, meaning you can just run over it and have 7 grenades in your inventory before you even know. Alongside the auto-looting is the fact that Wildcard has its own inventory, which is basically the game telling you, hey, don't worry about looting, little bro, we got you. With no stress behind looting and shooting, you can pretty much just drop, grab a gun, and fight until either your whole team goes down and die, or you win. Another thing of note is Respawn also included respawning in the mode. Who would have thought? So you don't really have to worry about dying as long as one teammate is alive, and the respawn timers aren't as punishing as revival itself. All of this with a maximum of 30 players thrown together on a heavily modified King's Canyon. So if you like playing modes that have absolutely no stakes and want to turn off your brain and just shoot at people, then Wildcard is for you, being the premier casual mode for mixing elements of mixtape and battle royale together. It has its problems though. Ever since they've reverted the changes of stat tracking, everyone has been tryharding for 4K badges and 20 bombs. That's what happens when you're able to unlock basically anything in a new permanent mode. The only problem being is the fact that the matchmaking can sometimes be really iffy and inconsistent, but that's once again a fundamental core problem that Apex has always had, and nothing's really changing that. Overall, you pair all of the things that this mode presents with the other changes made this season, and we've got ourselves a very good foundation for the season so far. And speaking of balancing changes, most of the balance changes this season have brought along something of note. It's been a hell of a toss-up regarding the bigger changes, so we'll start with the big ones first. And I'm talking about weapons. The Peacekeeper's back on the floor again. I'm so freaking happy about that. The P20s went in the care pack, and the RE45 is an absolute nightmare now. Whoever thought it was a good idea to turn the RE45 meta better hook them up with whatever they're on, because that must be some good shit. Anyway, the RE45 burst of all guns has become the de facto strongest gun in the game. I was not expecting the RE45 to be that weapon, and the whole idea behind the RE45 burst as a custom variant from Ballistic's personal arsenal is a really cool concept. Hell, even when Ballistic isn't meta, the stuff he provides in the lore always makes a splash. So the ghost of Ballistic past is forever haunting this game. So he decided to take the RE45, turn it into an energy-based burst pistol that shreds so insanely fast that you'd think that it's a care package weapon. But it isn't a care package weapon. The only trade-off making the RE45 an energy weapon is the fact it gets less ammo overall. But considering the fact it does 17 damage to the body, which, you know, actually doing the math there, that's like 3 bursts to kill with grey armor, and the magazine size scales incredibly well from 18 to 27 depending on your energy magazine level. So I'd be surprised if this weapon doesn't become incredibly dominant in the next coming weeks, and if I ever end up crashing out on the RE45 and making another run like I did with the Devotion, just an FYI, I expected this to happen. The PK has had its ability to deal headshot damage removed. It didn't destroy the weapon at all, because let's be honest, the PK doesn't need headshot damage. It's in a relatively decent spot, alongside its choke charge, speed reduction, spread increase, usual things that happen to weapons when they come out of the care package. The PK has also been selected for the accelerator hop-up, which means if you're able to hit your shots, you'll have access to your ultimate a lot more. Speaking of weapon hop-ups, this is another big part of this season. They are now integrated into the weapon and now have to be unlocked via dealing damage. For the more powerful hop-ups like Skull Piercer, you need to do 400 damage, if I remember correctly, compared to something like the Accelerator, which requires 150. It reduces the loot pool, and it's made it so it is incredibly consistent across the board with loot, especially when you pair it with the fact that arsenals actually exist in this game, and arsenals, when you enhance your weapon, give you points towards unlocking your hop-up. So, hey, another incentive to use the arsenals more than you already do. Loot has become surprisingly consistent across the board, though you'll still have moments of a massive unlucky streak where you end up getting fucked by RNG, but it happens so few and far between now that it doesn't really bring up a big issue of my concern. Another thing I need to add, and I forgot to write this down, was the amp system. Amps are so incredibly strong in this game. You have the infinite ammo amp, which is, well, infinite ammo, but you lock two slots of your ammo. You lock 2 slots in your inventory for infinite ammo. You have the overheal amp, which means a single cell and or a syringe gives you overtime healing till you're full, which is incredibly efficient for healing. You have your power amp, which essentially was the old skirmisher battle boost, where you get your faster cooldowns on your abilities, but you also get a charge and you get a knock. The overshield amp, which is 25 extra health on your shield, basically, purple turns to red. And the last one I can't remember right now. Oh, infinite batteries, that's what it is. You get infinite batteries, you have more than 2 batteries in your inventory. All of these amps are incredibly strong, and if you were to land on one in the early game, you were tied over until you can get your loadouts together. Especially if you had something like overheal amp, which means efficiency on healing just increases 4-fold. 1 cell and 1 syringe is the equivalent of 1 medkit and 1 battery. It's really that simple. You can sit there and go into poke wars and never have to worry about running out of ammo and or health. I think that's everything in the weapons and loot department. The only thing we really have to worry about now is the legends. Bangalore is crazy good at shutting down bunker now. It's not even funny. Electric Smoke has the ability to blow past anything that isn't a trophy system, and the door destruction only makes her ability to play aggressive even stronger. Bangalore with all these tertiary buffs, I mean, it's still Bangalore at the end of the day. You need to put in the work to actually make use of her, but the people that can play Bangalore, they are eating good this season, and I'm happy for Bang players. On the other side of the spectrum, Caustic has become an immovable object. Like, when they buffed Caustic this season, I wasn't expecting him to become this absolute menace of the indoor combat space. If you know you have a Caustic, if you don't have something like a Bangalore or a consistent way to shut down his barrels, you might as well not even fight him because you are very likely going to die quickly. Caustic has definitely become one of the strongest control legends in the game, and he fills that niche of pure area denial and fighting indoors where a lot of people now feel uncomfortable with pushing a Caustic. Because originally you'd be able to walk through his barrels and not worry about shit, but now you actually have threat. And with his research point system, Caustic is a scary ass character now, and with the fortified, you just shouldn't fight him indoors. Or you play Bangalore and counter that meta, which I think this is why Bangalore also got buffed. So, hey, it's becoming more of a rock, paper, scissors style of game now, and I really do like that. And aside from everything based off the changes for Apex Legends and the balancing in general, we have one thing we need to talk about now, and it's the one thing that I always like talking about, quote unquote, and that's ranked. Now, we all know that I complained about ranked so hard last season that it became my most popular video on this channel. So let's talk about said elephant in the room. Ranked in the big season 26. If I were to describe it, in all honesty, it's not a bad system in concept and in theory. It's a brutal as hell system, but it's a very rewarding one when you do end up with gains. Essentially, KP doesn't have a cap, which I think a lot of people were complaining about, because now it's turned into another kill rush simulator, but hey, I'm not at a level where I can steamroll a whole lobby at start of season, because start of season is when everyone is sort of in the same elo. So when you have people like low masters, high masters, apex predators, plats goals, and the odd diamond here and there, you just sort of witness lobbies get steamrolled immediately. The high entry costs all around with the adjustments to KP and placement points, it's turned into a hell of a lot more of an unforgiving experience, akin to that of season 17, which is perfect for ranked because you're not supposed to have a really easy time in ranked. Fighting in gold is actually a struggle now. Fighting in plat is going to be worse, and if I get to diamond this season, I'd be impressed with myself. You're supposed to be punished for stupid mistakes, and dumb play. The whole idea behind the Battle Royale, of course, is to be the last one standing. And if you can get a high placement with a decent KP, you're chilling. So it's a case of me having to relearn the entire system again, because on top of the rank changes with the KP and placement points, they also completely change how jumping works. Similar to how the ALGS is played, drop zones are predetermined landing spots for the whole lobby. But knowing most people, they'll just say fuck it and land on you anyway, because at this point, people just love to grief each other in this game. So it would make a remarkable experience if it wasn't so half-arsed in that department. Everything else I think is fine, and I know I'm going to be frustrated this season when I do want to play ranked with some friends. But I think for me, I might just take a step back and take this one more casually. The bright side is we got E-District back, Ballistic is dead, and I can play the game without worrying about it being borderline unfun. So all in all, my first impressions that I'm saying it's all right. It's got its issues, and RE45 I have a feeling is going to become a massive pain in my arse down the line. But right now, I'm taking the good with the bad in this case, because I'm all for the state of the game right now. I haven't really got complaints with Apex in this current moment, aside from the usual complaints of shit matchmaking, AI dog teammates, and servers that don't function properly. But just pile it on the list of usual Apex complaints. It's a pretty good experience all around. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going back to grinding in Zenless and punishing Grey Raven because they decided to have a Devil May Cry collab, and now I can't stop hitting people with Judgment Cut. Links are in the description as per usual. Check out the Discord, follow the Twitch and Twitter. Check out the Ko-fi if you want to support me financially, as I am trying to get by here and there. Like and subscribe if you want to. Let me know your thoughts on the season so far in the comments, and or just any feedback or anything you want to talk to me about, or let me know that I should talk about down the line. And that'll be it from me. I'll see everyone in the next video, and it's been a Zura. Toodles!